It's D-Day for Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. The debate on the no-trust vote against Imran Khan-led PTI government was delayed after talks between the Speaker and the opposition failed earlier. The opposition had then wanted a vote on the motion while the Speaker wanted to take up the foreign conspiracy angle for debate. The opposition came down heavily on Imran Khan and the Speaker. Leader of opposition Shahbaz Sharif hailed the Supreme Court's ruling and asked the Speaker to follow the apex court's order. Bilawal Bhutto trashed Imran Khan's conspiracy theory and used cricketing analogy to attack the former Pakistan skipper. Foreign Affairs Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi defended the Imran Khan government and slammed the opposition. Qureshi said history will expose the people who are behind toppling the Imran Khan government. Meanwhile, the proceedings were adjourned till 10 p.m. India Standard Time in the National Assembly. A little earlier, Pakistani journalist Hamid Mir in fact listed out conditions of Imran Khan allegedly to let the no-trust vote take place. He said so on GOTV. Now, according to Mr. Mir, Imran wants someone else to be made Prime Minister instead of Shahbaz Sharif. Even the number game is not favouring Captain Khan. In Pakistan's 342-seat parliament, a party needs 172 votes to form a government. The United Opposition in Pakistan has claimed 199 votes, clearly above the majority mark, while Imran and his allies have 142 votes, lower than the halfway mark. Awami League Muslim League President and Pakistan Minister Sheikh Rashid has now claimed that he asked Pakistan Prime Minister Khan to go for elections 3 months ago.
इस मुल्क ने चलना है और इस मुल्क को अगर चलाना है तो मिल बैठें और इंतखाबात की डेट का फैसला करें। सिवाय इंतखाब के कोई हल नहीं है। और मैंने तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर को कल ही ये कहा था, 3 महीने से कह रहा हूँ कि इलेक्शन कराए, नहीं तो सारे यूनानी मसले इस्तीफा दें। वरना अगर ये गली मोहल्ले में लड़ाई चली गई तो जो न्यूट्रल है वो न्यूट्रल नहीं रह सकेंगे, झाड़ू फिर जाएगा इस मुल्क।
Ailia Zehra, Pakistan journalist, is in fact now joining me live from Islamabad. Ailia, give us a sense of what's happening right now. Has the National Assembly reconvened after its last adjournment? And of course, the big question, will there be a vote tonight?
So the session was adjourned till 9:30. It's 9:35 right now, and we are told that it hasn't been resumed yet. The cabinet meeting is taking place right now, and federal ministers are present there in the meeting. The voting is certainly being delayed, and given the proceedings so far and how the government has tried to derail the process, it doesn't look like the voting will take place today. And this would be a clear case of contempt of court, because the court order clearly stated and ordered the government to hold the voting today, and not only hold the voting but also elect a new prime minister in case the motion passes against Imran Khan. So now there are various reports. Some people are saying that Imran Khan is, he has put some conditions. He wants the opposition to assure that the new government would not victimize him. There would be no cases against him, no corruption charges against him once he's out of power.
Right.
And but it doesn't look like he's trying to. It's just that they're trying to delay the process, and some are also suggesting that he might resign, but I don't think that's happening, because if he were to resign, he would have done it in his address to the nation last night. So it's clear that they're just just to delay this process. They're doing this using these delaying tactics, and it looks like the issue will be taken to the Supreme Court once again. And the Supreme Court, unfortunately, would have to intervene once again in the parliamentary proceedings, because the Speaker, according to some reports, the National Assembly Speaker has refused to lead the voting process. He says that he can't, leave Imran Khan, and he will stand by him. And although it is his constitutional duty to ensure that voting does take place, it's the Supreme Court's order. Violating it would be contempt of court. But the Speaker, it seems, is not ready to let the due process take its course. And opposition leaders are saying that if the voting doesn't take place today, then they will, adopt the legal route and, definitely go to the court. The court also, according to legal analysts, the court can also take a notice on its own. It does have the power to take a suo motu, which it did earlier on Sunday when the whole thing happened when the assembly was dissolved and the deputy speaker rejected the motion. So the whole process might be delayed by a few more days, it seems, and because tomorrow is Sunday and the Supreme Court doesn't, is not open on Sunday. So unless, of course, they take a suo motu notice like they did last
Sure.
Sunday,
Okay.
this would be delayed till Monday or Tuesday, I think.
Okay, so you're saying it's likely that the voting might not take place tonight. It could be delayed. And of course, Imran Khan is pulling out all sorts of tricks from his book in terms of trying to derail the process, as you put it earlier. So what you're saying is that from the best that you can understand and from your sources as well, you don't think he's going to resign, but there could be possibility of the fact that he is actually putting forth certain conditions in order to allow for the vote to take place, in terms of what has been reported by some of the Pakistani media, that he wants, in fact, a guarantee that Shahbaz Sharif will not be the next Prime Minister, and of course wants protection for himself and his cabinet colleagues from cases.
Yeah, of course, but I don't think that it is likely that the opposition would agree to any such demand, because the opposition has its number game complete. They're in a very comfortable position, and why would they agree to any such when they've already decided that Shahbaz Sharif would be the Prime Minister? I don't think that they will listen to Imran Khan. But of course, if there's some kind of intervention from the establishment, if some forces some elements in the establishment try to convince the opposition leaders on Imran Khan's behalf, then they might have to agree. But I don't think that they will agree to Imran Khan's demands. But in any case, if the voting is delayed for any reason, even if he's asking for some demands to be met, even then it will be a violation of the court, because the court had ordered that the voting will take place today. So Imran Khan, the opposition, is not bound to, they're not relying on Imran Khan to allow the voting, because
Absolutely.
The court is very clear. So they have the Supreme Court on their side, the opposition. So I don't think they will, accept any demand from Imran Khan if it is unreasonable or if he's asking too much.
Okay, right. Ailia, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a sense of what exactly is going on in Pakistan. Now, the political tamasha, of course, in Pakistan continues. The Pakistan Assembly held a session to oust Imran Khan, but the Pakistan Prime Minister himself decided not to attend the session that would decide on his future. Here's more on that.
The writing was on the wall. When the Pakistan National Assembly met, the opposition benches were packed. On the Treasury side, the numbers had dwindled, symbolic of which way the wind was blowing. Imran's loyal lieutenants, Fawad Chaudhry and Shah Mahmood Qureshi, were there, but the Pakistan Prime Minister was himself absent. Even before the debate began, there was controversy. The Speaker saying that the foreign conspiracy angle must be probed, and the opposition charging him with delaying the vote.
परसों पाकिस्तान की तारीख में एक ताबनाक दिन था जब अदालत उज़्मा ने आपके गैर आइनी इक़दाम को, प्राइम मिनिस्टर इमरान खान के गैर आइनी इक़दाम को, डिप्टी स्पीकर के गैर आइनी इक़दाम को कलअदम करार दिया। जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो हुक्म है, जो ऑर्डर है, आप आज उसके ताबे आप हाउस की कार्रवाई चलाएंगे, इसलिए कि आज ये पार्लियामान एक नई तारीख रकम करने जा रहा है।
Bilawal Bhutto trashed Imran's conspiracy theory and used cricketing analogy to attack the former Pakistan skipper.
आपका कप्तान भाग रहा है, भागते भागते तौहीन अदालत कर रहा है, भागते भागते आइन शिकनी कर रहे हैं। मैंने रिकॉर्ड पे ले आया हूं कि आप तौहीन अदालत कर रहे हो। हम अपना वकला को भी, अगर आप तौहीन अदालत करते रहते हो, वोटिंग नहीं करते हो, तो हम इधर भी बैठे रहेंगे।
PMLN leader Maryam Nawaz called Imran a psychopath who was holding the entire nation hostage to save his skin. Amid a barrage of opposition fire, it was left to Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi to defend the Imran Khan government.
जो attempts और blatant attempts हो रही हैं या की जा रही हैं दर पर्दा, रजीम चेंज की वो किसी से पोशीदा नहीं है। ये रिकॉर्ड की बात है। आज हम हैं, कल नहीं होंगे। हमसे बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियां यहां हो गई हैं कि आज हमें फैसला करना है कि बहसीयत कौम के हमने किस तरह जीना है, खुददारी से, खुद मुख्तारी या गुलामी का जिक्र हुआ।
With its back to the wall, Imran's PTI made one final effort to get the no trust vote stopped. It moved a review petition in the Supreme Court, the same court which had dealt it a body blow on Thursday. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, Imran Khan is not ready to go to the pavilion ahead of the no trust vote. PTI chief addressed the people of Pakistan. In fact, in a no-hose-barred speech, Imran Khan hit out at the opposition and accused them of horse trading. Imran Khan played the anti-US card and also accused Washington of trying to topple his government. Here's more.
The numbers are stacked against him. But Imran Khan is not walking from the crease yet. On the eve of the vote of no confidence motion against him, the Pakistan Prime Minister went on the front foot. The PTI chief called for a nationwide protest on Sunday against the opposition that he described as traitors.
आपने अपनी फ्यूचर को की हिफाजत करनी है, आपने अपनी जमहूरियत, अपनी सॉवरेनिटी की हिफाजत करनी है, अपनी आज़ादी की हिफाजत करनी है। ये जो बाहर से इंपोर्ट करके, साजिश करके और ज़मीर खरीद के ये ड्रामा जो हो रहा है, आपने इसकी प्रोटेस्ट करना है।
Pitching himself as the savior of Pakistan, who is being thwarted by external forces, Imran lashed out at the United States. This time, no holds barred.
हम अमेरिका को बार बार उनको समझाएं कि हम कोई मैं इमरान खान एंटी अमेरिकन नहीं है, लेकिन हमने बड़ी बुरी हालात देखे हुए हैं। हमने आपकी हम कोई टिश्यू पेपर की तरह इस्तेमाल होने वाली कौम नहीं है कि आप इस्तेमाल करें और फिर फेंक दें। और आज आप कह रहे हैं कि जी क्योंकि जी हमें पर कर्जे चढ़े हुए हैं तो हमें तो गुलामी करनी पड़ेगी।
Imran repeatedly alleged that there is a global plot to topple his government.
अगर इमरान खान यानी सिटिंग प्राइम मिनिस्टर अगर वो नहीं हटता इसमें से तो पाकिस्तान को नुकसान होगा। और फिर कहता, लेकिन अगर वो हार जाता है तो पाकिस्तान को माफ कर दिया जाएगा। नहीं, उसने कहा जो भी आएगा माफ कर देगा, यानी कि उसको पता था कि किसने आना है, किसने अचकन सलवाई हुई है, कौन तैयारी में बैठा हुआ है, उसे सब पता था, तो उसको माफ कर देंगे।
Hitting out at the opposition, Imran claimed that lawmakers were being bought to win the numbers game.
मैंने कभी इस तरह की चीज किसी भी वेस्टर्न डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर नहीं देखी, कभी सुना भी नहीं है। ना कोई सोच सकता किसी को खरीदने का, ना कोई अपने आप को अपना ज़मीर बेचने का सोच सकता है, क्योंकि माशरा उसके खिलाफ खड़ा हो जाता है। जो लीडरशिप है, ये रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हैं, ये अगर रिश्वत दे के लोगों को खरीद रहे हैं, कोई बिक रहा है, कोई खरीद रहा है, तो उनकी हम क्या मिसाल पैदा कर रहे हैं।
His fate almost sealed. Imran reached out to the people of Pakistan.
मैं ये कहता हूं कि किसी से हमारी लड़ाई नहीं है, ना मैं किसी का एंटी हूं, ना किसी मुल्क का एंटी हूं। मैं सिर्फ ये कहता हूं कि जो मेरे लोगों के फायदे के लिए पहली चीज वो है, मेरे 22 करोड़ लोगों के लिए, उसके बाद मैं दुनिया की बाकी चीजें मानने के लिए तैयार हूं।
The former cricketer knows he would not be able to chase down the target this time. He is already preparing for the next face-off. Imran believes the pitch favors him and he can extract the right amount of swing to win the test once again. Bureau Report, India Today.
In a 40-minute address, Imran Khan praised India on multiple occasions on Friday. From India's independent foreign policy to its free and fair elections, Imran Khan showed the mirror to the opposition in his country, quoting India's example.
हिंदुस्तान को देख लें, इतनी किसी की जुर्रत नहीं, किसी की जुर्रत थी कि इस तरह की बात करते हैं हिंदुस्तान में.
Singular praise for India from a beleaguered, cornered Imran Khan, addressing his nation possibly for the last time as Prime Minister of Pakistan. In a 33-minute speech, Imran, who touched upon all the familiar tropes that have riddled his many recent speeches, chose to invoke India repeatedly and always in glowing terms. Riding a narrative of foreign conspiracy against his government, he singled India's independent foreign policy for singular praise.
यूरोपियन यूनियन के जब एम्बेसडर्स ने यहाँ बिल्कुल प्रोटोकॉल के खिलाफ स्टेटमेंट दी कि जी पाकिस्तान को रूस के खिलाफ स्टेटमेंट देनी चाहिए, क्या वो हिंदुस्तान में कह सकते हैं? क्या उनकी जुर्रत है हिंदुस्तान में ऐसी स्टेटमेंट देते हुए?
This isn't the first time Imran Khan is praising India. On March 21st, before the no trust implosion loomed on the horizon, he had similarly praised India and come in for massive criticism.
साथ वाला हमारा मुल्क है हिंदुस्तान. मैं आज हिंदुस्तान को दाद देता हूं. इन्होंने हमेशा आजाद फॉरेन पॉलिसी रखी. आज हिंदुस्तान उनके साथ मिला हुआ है, उनका अलायंस है. क्वाड के अंदर अमेरिका का अलायंस की हुई है और अपने आप को वो कहता है मैं न्यूट्रल हूं. रूस से तेल मंगवा रहा है जबकि सैंक्शंस लगी हुई हैं, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान की पॉलिसी अपने लोगों की बेहतरी के लिए है.
Practically painting his country a banana republic, Imran Khan also used India's use of electronic voting machines as an example of democracy in motion, decrying how his recommendation of their use in Pakistan had been repeatedly blocked.
इनका सबसे बड़ा खौफ ये है कि वो जो ईवीएम मशीन है जो हिंदुस्तान में भी है, जो जुडिशल कमीशन बनी थी 2015 में, उसकी फाइंडिंग सिर्फ ये थी कि जितने भी मसले आए हैं अगर आप ईवीएम मशीन ले आए तो वो सारे मसले हल हो जाते थे.
The rapid-fire praise for India was ironically one of the most notable themes in the 33-minute speech.
मुझे बड़ा अफसोस है कि ये सिर्फ एक आरएसएस की आइडियोलॉजी की वजह से और ये जो कश्मीर में उन्होंने किया है उसकी वजह से हमारे ताल्लुकात नहीं हैं. वो एक बड़े खुददार कौम है. कभी किसी की जुर्रत नहीं है कि वहाँ इस तरह की बात करें. किसी सुपर पावर की जुर्रत नहीं है कि वहाँ ये भी तस्वर कर दें कि जनाब वो यही कह दें कि जनाब अपने फॉरेन रिलेशन में वो कहें जो हम कह रहे हैं. अब देख रहे हैं वो रूसियों से हालांकि सारी सैंक्शंस लगी हुई हैं, वो कह रहे हैं जी हम तेल इंपोर्ट करते हैं, हमारे लोगों की बेहतरी है.
While the politician in Imran was clearly invoking India, Pakistan's touchy topic number one, for dramatic effect, it's likely that part of Imran's praise sprung from genuine admiration. Imran Khan's praise is also affirmation from a so-called adversary nation of India's rise in a region that's been sinking and in breakdown mode over the last 2 years. A country whose economy isn't collapsing, and a country whose navigation of the geopolitical boiling pot post-Ukraine is the envy of many. Imran has had an old India connection thanks to cricket. Maybe some of that bubbled to the surface on Friday night too. Bureau Report, India Today.
The man to replace Imran Khan as the next Prime Minister of Pakistan is Shahbaz Sharif, the man who led the united opposition to call for a no-confidence motion against the current PTI government, will finally emerge from his brother Nawaz Sharif's shadow. But who is Shahbaz Sharif? Our next report tells you everything about the man in waiting to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan.
ये करप्शन और बदतरीन बदध्यानगी का नतीजा है. 4.25 साल इस गरीब कौम ने बर्दाश्त किया और फिर पार्लियामान में हमने फैसला किया कि 22 करोड़ अवाम की जो ख्वाहिशात हैं उनका मुतालबा है. हमने ये वोट ऑफ नो कॉन्फिडेंस या अदम एतमाद की तहरीक 8 मार्च को दाखिल की.
For most of his political life, Shahbaz Sharif has lived in the shadow of his more famous brother Nawaz, settling to be Chief Minister of Punjab while Nawaz Sharif ruled Pakistan on 3 different occasions. Now the roles have changed. While Nawaz Sharif languishes in self-imposed exile in London, Shahbaz is the one set to be Pakistan's next Prime Minister. And deservedly so, many would say. He united the opposition to unseat Imran Khan, personally leading demonstrations and protest rallies and weaning away the support of Khan's allies. Shahbaz Sharif had the numbers and by all political calculations should have been the Prime Minister-elect last Sunday. But Imran Khan played his last card to scuttle the vote in the assembly.
अदालत-ए-उज़्मा के इस फैसले के नतीजे में पाकिस्तान के मुस्तकबिल को महफूज किया, पाकिस्तान के आइन को महफूज किया, पाकिस्तान की पार्लियामेंट की जो सॉवरेनिटी है उसको दोबारा बहाल किया.
The three-time Chief Minister of Punjab has been the leader of the opposition in the National Assembly of Pakistan since 2018. After Nawaz Sharif was barred for life from holding any political office by the Supreme Court in 2017, Shahbaz was catapulted into Islamabad's power corridors.
Imran Khan will cease to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan and will be replaced by the opposition leader Shahbaz Sharif. This is a tremendous victory for the opposition as well, because this not only cements Shahbaz Sharif's position as the upcoming Prime Minister of Pakistan, but also cements his position as the next constitutional ruler.
The Sharifs are Punjabis from the Kashmir region who settled in Lahore after partition. Since then, Punjab has been their stronghold. As elder brother Nawaz Sharif played the national political power game, Shahbaz protected the Sharif hold on Punjab. After Nawaz was deposed in a military coup in 1999, Shahbaz spent years of self-exile in Saudi Arabia, only returning in 2007. Shahbaz Sharif was soon re-elected as the Chief Minister of Punjab for a second term.
इमरान नियाजी जो दिन रात रियासत मदीना की बात करता है, उसने पाकिस्तान की कौम को कंगाल कर दिया. अरबों खरबों के इस गरीब मुल्क के जो वसाइल वो ज़ाया हो गए.
A businessman with major stakes in a multi-million-dollar steel industry, money laundering and other corruption charges have stalked Shahbaz Sharif. He has weathered all storms that have come his way so far. But if he becomes Pakistan's next Prime Minister, he will have the tough job of steering the nation out of the present deep economic crisis. And that could be the biggest challenge of his life. Bureau Report, India Today.